Hi everybody. Hello. It is April the 24th, 2025. Asking my higher self to help me keep this short and concise. One of the signs that's going up on the fence this year is if the only thing you ever say, if the only prayer you ever say is thank you, that's enough. And there's a couple of threads that are coming with that. One is the quantum healing hypnosis technique practitioners, when we're having our interview with the client before we go into a hypnosis session, if the client has any diseases, the question is asked, can you see yourself? Can you imagine yourself where this is all healed? Can you put yourself in that place where healing is complete already? Because if we cannot see ourselves with what we want or what we would like, if we can't see it, it's not going to happen, no matter how much asking you ask. Now, that little trick, shall we say, that being able to feel something as already accomplished when we ask for it and say thank you, seeing it already here, that was part of the teachings from years ago that were taken out of the books that were in the Bible. There is allusions to it left, but it was not encouraged. And the Gospel of Thomas and the Gospel of Mary, some of those books that were removed or not allowed when the Council of Nicaea put the books in the Bible that we now know as the Bible, the ones that they left out alluded to being able to feel what we want is already accomplished. So, back to the sign that's going on the fence. If the only prayer we ever say is thank you, that's enough. When I ask for something in a space or from a space of lack of any kind, what you're asking for is lack. The universe recognizes feeling more so than words, because words can be used in many ways. Feelings are more difficult to manipulate, shall we say. So saying thank you, if that's the only thing you ever say, being in a position or coming from a place of gratitude, knowing that what you need is already fulfilled, and being grateful for it is far more powerful than saying, please can I have, or please can you do this for my family. See yourself already complete. And saying thank you, we're hearing that that's enough. Take care. Wow, feels full on today. So, as I finished off the last segment about if the only prayer you ever say is thank you, that's enough, something else happened this morning. It felt profound, and it's about time and how we've always known ourselves. One of the girls in the meditation group talked about, gave a really cool analogy of our human understanding of time and how it can shift if we're able to withdraw our attention or withdraw our awareness further away from the planet so that the planet gets smaller. It can help us understand how time doesn't really exist in the way that we know it. So this morning, I got up and came downstairs, and the parrots had 2 days worth of mess, or I had left the mess for 2 days to clean up, so it was slightly significant. So put on the kettle, did my thing, you know, getting a pot of tea ready, and so God, I've got to start at it. Because, you know, this time of the year, I'd much rather be out here than in the house cleaning up. Nasty. I have these lovely domesticated moments, but they don't last. And they're certainly not regular. Anyway, I digress. Higher self, whoa, keep me on track, please. Okay, pot of tea on. I cleaned up the parrot's mess. And as I'm cleaning it up, oh God, I'm dragging my arse, you know, and looking at it all like a ton of bricks, and which is bull, you know, BS. It's not. Anyway, got it cleaned up, dragged all outside, swept up, got my map, mapped the floor, mapped the bottom of the walls, like, you know. Anyway, large parrots make large mess. So did that. I went upstairs with a pot of tea and had my little breakfast and my pot of tea and started my meditation. And when I came, before I turned on the computer, I usually go down and get a small cup of coffee. And I'll drink the coffee while I'm checking email and responding to email and doing a bit of work stuff. Well, when I did, actually before I did that, when I cleaned up, I've got the signs, the garden signs, almost ready to go. So I was finishing off a few of those, and so I was doing some painting before I went back upstairs. So I did that, painting. The new signs are out, drying on the deck, and went up. And when I came back down to turn on the kettle to make some coffee, I walked into the kitchen and I turned my head to look where I had cleaned up at the bird cage. Now the birds have now vacated it and gone into, where did they go? The bathroom, where they can play for a while. And when I walked into the kitchen and looked at the area I had cleaned up, and this nanosecond of remembrance came to me of how tired I was, or how gross I felt when I was down cleaning it up earlier. And I waltzed over to the counter, grabbed the kettle to put some water in it, and I looked back and I realized, or what I heard, or what came to me was, when you did that earlier, you were a different person. Not in a different body, and not like in a split personality kind of way, but it's like you're older now. That was a different time. Every second, every minute that passes, we're changing, and we're far more than these bodies. And what came with that was, that's that kind of newer awareness that we change throughout the day, throughout the moments. The awarenesses that are coming seem really big differences. And that could, the small, diminutive, or the humbler, I suppose, whatever part of me wants to say, well, it's just me. It could be just me. But that's not the impression that I'm getting talking to people. I'm hearing remain open. This is some really cool time to be alive right now. Wow. I'll have to get some nettles. Take care. Nettles found. On the way back, I'm hearing that change, or that difference, that huge difference in where I was when I was first doing the cleanup this morning, and when I came back downstairs after having painted and had my tea and meditation. That shift of energy was what caused the difference. I was in a lower vibratory state, I guess, when I got up. And then having done what I love to do, which is paint, walls, chairs, anything really. So it was like I was in a completely different energetic space. And it felt that different that it initially felt like I was a completely different person. Thank you.